Good evening and welcome to our English news. Vanuatu and Timor-Leste have strengthened their bilateral relationship by signing two agreements aimed at enhancing cooperation between the two countries. A development cooperation agreement and a visa waiver agreement were signed in Port Vila during the state visit of Timor-Leste President Dr. Jose Ramos Horta, who is in Vanuatu to take part in the country's 46th independence anniversary celebrations. Vanuatu's Minister of Foreign Affairs, International Cooperation and External Trade, Mark Hadi, signed the agreements on behalf of the government of Vanuatu, while Timor-Leste Vice Minister for Foreign Affairs and Cooperation, Jesuna Maria Veria Gomez, signed on behalf of the government of Timor-Leste. The Development Cooperation Agreement formalizes cooperations in areas including trade, education, health, agriculture, and climate resilience, and people-to-people exchanges. The two countries also signed a visa waiver agreement for holders of official and diplomatic passports and making travel easier and supporting closer cooperation between the two governments. Prime Minister Jotham Nabat and President Jose Ramos Horta say the agreement marks an important milestone that reflects the two countries' strong historical ties, shared values, and commitment to working together for development of the region. The government of Vanuatu said it remains committed to strengthening partnerships with other countries in the Pacific and beyond. People in Vanuatu have been strongly warned by the government to think carefully before posting or sharing anything on social media. This follows recent incidents that have occurred on social media. The Department of Communication and Digital Transformation under the Ministry of Prime Minister says that online posts can now carry legal consequences under the Harmful Digital Communications Act, which came into effect on 2nd of January 2025, as well as under the Penal Code Cap 135 and the Cybercrime Act number 22 of 2021. The department says the laws specifically targets posts that make threats, spread false or misleading information, damage another person's reputations, share someone's private information, or intimate images without their permission, involve scams or fake online accounts. Anyone who breaks this law may face fines, imprisonment, and court orders requiring them to remove content or make a public apology. The DCDT is encouraging everyone to use the internet responsibly, avoid sharing harmful content, and report serious online threats, scam, or child sexual abuse material to the police or the appropriate authorities. The department emphasized that what you post online can have real-life consequences. The new Minister for Trade and Commerce, Robson Yafrom, says accountability and transparency must be among the key principles guiding the Ministry of Trade and Commerce. His comments came after he officially took over the ministry this week from outgoing Minister Samson Samsen. Honorable Robson Yafro officially assumed office this week as the Minister of Trade and Commerce following the resignation of former Minister Samson Samsen. Samsen's resignation comes amid public concern and widespread discussion over the management of the Value Addition Capital Investment Fund, with allegations that there were issues regarding how the funding was distributed to recipients. The new minister, Honorable Yafro, said one of his top priorities is to restore public confidence and ensure that public funds are used for their intended purposes. He said Prime Minister Jotham Nabat has given him a clear mandate to closely review the Value Addition Capital Fund and ensure that every allocation is subject to proper accountability and transparency. Minister Yavro said the fund was established to submit new Vanuatu entrepreneurs, create employment opportunities and help develop local businesses. Minister Yavro, who is serving his first term in Parliament, is holding his first ministerial position, said the ministry will review the funding that has already been allocated. Before becoming a member of Parliament, Minister Yavro served as the Commissioner of Police. Outgoing Minister Samson Samson congratulated Minister Yavro and said he looks forward to the ministry continuing its work to support businesses and the economic development of Vanuatu. The Director of Industry, who also attended the event, said the ministry will continue implementing the government's policies aimed at strengthening and developing Vanuatu's business sector. For thousands of people in Vanuatu, the Pacific Australia Labour Mobility or PAM scheme has become more than just an overseas employment opportunity, but it has transformed their lives by helping them support and invest in their families. At the Naurisha banana plantation in North Queensland, workers from Vanuatu are harvesting bananas as part of the Pacific Australia Labour Mobility or PAM scheme, while some Vanuatu workers on other farms have left their jobs, saying the work was too demanding and the pay was unfair. Yana Fata, of 2 boys from Santo, who has worked at the plantation for 10 years, shared his experience. The owner of the Naurisha banana plantation said it has not been difficult to retain workers. Since 2012, the program has helped many families in Vanuatu improve their standard of living. Jan and a married couple say the program has changed their lives and the lives of their families. Although being away from home because of work has been difficult, the couple said it is not easy living far from their families, but their faith in God has kept them strong. At the same time, many young workers who do not yet have families are using the money they earn and the skills they learn in Australia to start small businesses when they return back to Vanuatu. For these workers, the PAM scheme is more than just a way to earn an income. It is an opportunity to build a better future, invest in their families, and return homes with skills and experience they will benefit both themselves and their communities in Vanuatu for years to come. In international news, hundreds of migrants have reached Spain's North African enclave of Ceuta by swimming around Porta barriers or climbing fences from Morocco. Spanish authorities are rescuing people at sea as arrivals increase. A recent court ruling has also limited the use of immediate migrant returns by sea. Al Jazeera has more.
They began to arrive at dawn, some swimming, others barely afloat, approaching the Spanish enclave of Ceuta. Within hours, there were many more. Coast and Border Guard officers looking on as the numbers grew, intervening occasionally to rescue around 300 people in trouble in the water. Surrounded by Morocco, Spain's North African enclaves of Ceuta and Melilla are the only land borders between Africa and the European Union. An exhausted scramble onto dry land and the joy of setting foot on European soil. Where dozens have died trying in recent months, authorities say hundreds have succeeded this week alone. Illegal migration into Ceuta and Melilla is nothing new, mainly Moroccans and Algerians skirting tight border security and scaling high fences to get in. These scenes reminiscent of May 2021 when 10,000 people arrived in a matter of days. They're often subject to arrest and forcible return, but a Spanish Supreme Court ruling this month has banned the practice of so-called hot returns for those arriving by sea, and with that the number of arrivals has surged. On Friday, Spain's Interior Minister will travel to Ceuta with a promise to strengthen border control and provide humanitarian aid. And watching those efforts closely will be the wider European Union. The worry that new enthusiasm for this migratory route will not easily be contained. Jonah Hull, Al Jazeera.
In sports, the Australian Community Grant has supported American Kola Malambari Fivers FC with new sporting equipment. American Kola Malambari Fivers FC has received more than 1 million Vanuatu worth of support through the Australian High Commission Community Grant Program to purchase new sporting equipment. Coach Floyd Ravo said this is the first grant the club has received from the Australian High Commission since it was established in 2010. He thanked the program for supporting communities across Vanuatu and said the funding is an important milestone for the club. The grant has also benefited local businesses through equipment purchases. Ravo believes the new equipment will motivate players, improve performance and strengthen the club as it aims for greater success. The club officially launched and dedicated the new equipment last Sunday, marking a new chapter for American Kola Malambari Fivers FC. And with sports, it brings us to the end of today's English news with me, Lodian Welin, wishing you a pleasant weekend.